Jai Bhagwan, Woman Warriors, Dr. Satyavani here, and I wanted to give you this empowerment talk this week regarding the Pitta season once again. I know that Prajna gave a phenomenal collection of tips last week about what to do during this heated season, but I specifically wanted to talk about digestion and, believe it or not, the digestion of our emotions. So Pitta season brings with it heat. And for those of you that have a Pitta constitution like myself, this is what we call the Pitta aggravating season. And so a lot of times our emotions can become heated during this season because it's hot outside. And so some things that I'm going to recommend. Take a breath before responding to anything that may seem anxiety-inducing, frustration-inducing, or even something that you need time to contemplate. Give yourself some space. Pittas, because we tend to be very sharp in our decision-making, and we tend to be very direct people, a lot of times we make decisions because not only are we very decisive, but we also feel the need to execute things and move on to the next thing. I am totally one of those people. Whereas Kappas tend to take a little bit more time to make decisions, but in a very thoughtful way, and Vatas tend to really speed through emotions and decision making, sometimes without necessarily thinking the whole thing through. So in order to avoid future frustration or communication, take a breath before making any kind of decisions. The other thing is that we are looking at digesting our emotions. So it's not just digestion as it pertains to the gut, but also digesting our emotions. Summertime, there can be a lot of heated emotions because we tend to be outside more. The days are longer, and we might be working in overdrive a little bit because we're enjoying these long days and the season, which is a wonderful season, but we want to be very diligent with our digestion. You'll notice that in the summertime, your metabolism is probably higher. Think of the Pitta digestive process, our Agni, our digestive fire, as something that is a little bit higher during the summer because of the natural heat. That being said, when we are cooking more, when our digestion is cooking more, our metabolism is sped up. So don't be surprised if you feel hungrier during the summertime because of that massive digestive process. So some tips around all of this stuff. Take the breath before making any decisions or being decisive. Give yourself some space. As it relates to digestion, I will definitely refer back to Prajna's tips as it relates to cooling foods and all of those excellent tips as it relates to things that we should be focused on in terms of our eating for our physical digestion. But one of the things that I think is super important is to also consider that our digestion and our metabolism is going to get boosted, which as a result of that can lead to some high metabolic rates that we can overheat as a result. So being outside is fabulous, but for Pittas during this time of the year, you probably want to keep your outdoor time before 11 o'clock in the morning, and then trying to stay indoors at the heat of the day, because that can not only increase agitation, but it can increase overheating. And it's great to have boosted metabolism, but sometimes we tend to think, especially Pittas who tend to be high achievers and intense, we think that more is more. And the reality is more isn't better, it's just more. So keep it cool in the early part of the day. Have those cooling foods as recommended by Prajna in the previous video, and stay by, if you can, bodies of water. Like right now, I'm walking along the canal that's near my house, and that allows for there to be a nice breeze, And just being next to that water element is super helpful. It will keep the digestive fire at a minimum, and also keep it burning at an even rate, which is really what you're looking for. A lot of times when our digestion is up and our metabolism is cooking, we feel like we can go further, and what actually happens is that it leads to burnout. So, digestive fire, in recap, digestion of emotions, taking those deep breaths. Summertime, a lot of motorcycles on the road, lots of cars with tops down, a lot of alcohol consumption. So be mindful of the streets, who you are interacting with, because alcohol, I'm going to actually say something to that end, alcohol can be very dangerous for Pittas. And believe it or not, most of the folks that actually drink alcohol are actually people with Pitta constitutions. So it kind of goes hand in glove. But with heated alcohol in a hot season, we can develop heated emotions. So just be mindful of your alcohol consumption and how that relates to your mental, emotional health. So yeah, that's what I got for you this week. Keep it cool, put on the air conditioning, cold plunge. Cold plunging for Pitta season is fantastic, regardless of your constitution type, because it's hot. It's hot outside. I'm here in Boise, and it's already hitting the high 80s and 90s here in the late spring. We haven't even hit the summer solstice yet. So there's a lot going on. So just think of all things heated as something that you want to just keep in check during this very heated season, and you're going to do great. We love you. If you have questions or comments, please put them in the chat, and we'll get back to you. Have a great rest of your week, and go get them.